streaming. Will it blend? Hey, we're streaming. I don't see any video yet, though. There it is. Stream is up.
Wow.
Just like that, guys. It's that easy. Why don't you double check the audio? I'm pretty sure it's fine, but feel free.
YouTube.com
they'll do that.
/Game Bytes Show.
Sure.
I'm just guessing that's probably what it is.
I believe that is what it is.
It is. Game Bytes Show. Live. Let's see how they're doing.
How are they doing? Shoot Us Blood and Teeth. I'll play that. Hell yeah, I will.
Yep. Oh yeah, it works.
Nice.
Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for Stale Gum. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
That is an interesting. I'm kind of interested to see.
New Tales of the Borderlands isn't on your list, bro. I thought that was your jam, Jeremy.
I didn't look at those at all.
Oh, you haven't?
No. I'm just like trying to find something on here. Most of these news sites, their news after like a few items goes back to last week, so it's like there's not a lot going on.
Nights.
Yeah, not a whole lot's happened lately, I suppose.
Oh, you have Gotham Knights on there.
But I do want to. I am hype and possibly buy on Tales from the Borderlands.
I never finished the first one. I never finished the last Walking Dead Michonne either, so you know.
It just leaves you something to look forward to.
I finished the Game of Thrones one.
We all did.
Yeah, I think
I don't remember anything about it.
I finished Walking Dead season 2, I think.
I did Walking Dead 1 and 2. I didn't do season 3. No, I did do season 3. I did 3 seasons of that.
What happened in 3?
Maybe I didn't do 3.
What happened in 2?
2 was when they were up in the cabin. They were up in the ski resort. Yeah.
Did I play that?
Yeah.
Did I play that?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
People died. You had to play as girl and sneak around a bunch.
Wait, what game is this?
The Walking Dead.
Telltale. Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Jack Box Party Pack 9. I haven't played the first 8. This is Jeremy's joke. I haven't played the first 8, so I don't know what's going on. I can't play this one.
Apparently I have not played The Walking Dead season 2.
Oh, I did.
I guess all my memories are just from the first one.
With Duck?
Yep, Duck died.
Yeah, it was pretty shitty.
Did I tell you what happened when Duck died? When I played it, the character model disappeared.
Really? That's weird.
And so the mom was like cradling nobody. It definitely impacted my experience. I was like, wow, they got him real good.
Was there a Walking Dead season 3?
Yeah.
Well, there was a
And there was the Michonne spinoff, and there was like
there was like that half season thing.
Yeah.
The final season. Was that season 3?
Sure.
I believe so. I believe it was three seasons and a mini series or whatever.
We're gonna look back on like the last 15 years as just like the era of The Walking Dead. Mostly about the TV show, but the games will figure into it also.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what we'll remember. I'll forget it all.
Disco Elysium, the final cut. It's only $10.
Former Bayonetta VA walks back, claims she was only offered $4,000 for new game.
Yeah, she said that the Bloomberg report was. She at least gave some credence to it. I didn't see her actual statement.
You want to talk about it, or do we care?
Yeah, at least I bring it up as develop. Here's some. What do we call it?
Okay.
Old business.
I'll put it in the small news.
Yeah. There might not be any big news, so I'm not seeing anything.
Disco
gosh.
Elysium.
What in tarnation? Blow. Boop boop boo doo.
Disco Elysium feels like it came out in like 2016 or something.
Oh, yeah,
Huh.
probably.
Discord apparently has now like new little kind of cheapy games that you can just play inside Discord, and apparently they're good. They're like little party games and stuff for Nitro users.
Doesn't sound very hardcore to me.
They apparently like it on PC Gamer.
Sounds like some kind of casual stuff. I'm bringing back the hardcore casual divide. It's time to get rid of
Which side? So are you gonna be on the casual side now? Is that what's gonna?
Yeah.
You die
Yeah.
young, or you live long enough to see yourself become casual.
Casual, yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Microsoft says Sony deal with Activision stops Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. You see that?
I did not. That is interesting.
I'll put that in like some news and topics.
Yeah.
Doesn't Microsoft just own Call of Duty? Can't they just do what they want with it?
Not if there's a contract in place.
Yeah, if they bought a company that has.
Was there a
agreement.
contract?
Well, possibly. Let me check one more thing.
I'm still skimming.
Just keep
Oh
skimming.
yeah, I did read some news the other day.
Every US PlayStation 2 game manual is now scanned in 4K. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
A complete set of US PS2 booklet scans took 22 years over 40.
Diablo 4 Endgame beta asked testers not to leak it, so they leaked it immediately. This is the headline.
What's the end game of Diablo 4? Like you're going to like fight Vishnu this time or something?
I don't know. Modders figured out how to keep playing the Street Fighter 6 beta, so Capcom removed the game.
Oh man.
Bastion's coming back to Overwatch tomorrow.
Oh, I was looking for Bastion the other day, and I was like, huh.
He was pretty broken, so they pulled him out because he was just broken. It was very
Huh.
Yeah,
unbalanced.
they like changed him. Like now he rolls around and stuff. Like I don't know what they did to him.
Yeah, he doesn't have like that tank form anymore. No, you can switch to the tank form whenever you want, but it's, like,
Anytime, yeah.
different. It's different now, and
Yeah.
he actually doesn't have the rockets anymore. The little tanky. He's a little bit different, but he was really powerful.
So, Jeremy, how well does the Rings of Power lore match to the Shadow of War lore?
The thing is, I haven't played Shadow of War, so I don't know. I can tell you.
Is the spider a sexy human female?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, she's.
There's no spider in Rings of Power yet.
Oh, lame.
Shelob.
But they better be sexy.
I am not interested in it then, unless there's a sexy spider Shelob.
It better be sexy. I mean, come on. Sexy spiders need more representation.
Normalize sexy spider women.
That's right.
Arachnid. Ophelia.
Overwatch 2. Halloween terror event for Overwatch is coming tomorrow. Holy shit. I'm excited.
Wait, what is coming to Overwatch?
Halloween event.
Oh, that's fine.
They had it was like a single player thing every single time they've done it. It's
All right.
pretty cool.
I think.
Not single player, but co-op.
Hey, here's a Marvel Snap thing, just to spoil it. The best new Marvel game makes Uncle Ben's death a good thing. Oh, probably because he's got I bet the card has an ability. You sacrifice the card and it buffs up Spider-Man or something.
Oh, that'd be cool. I don't have Uncle Ben's card yet.
Spider-Man gains great
Not only
responsibility.
can you kill Uncle Ben in the game, you'll want to.
What does the card do? Does it
It
say?
leads to Spider-Man showing up. It's like a trading card remake of Peter Parker's superhero origins.
Uncle Ben is the rice brand, right?
Yeah, but it's sort of a different Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I just for some
No,
reason.
it's based on Spider-Man. Uncle Ben's rice.
Uncle Ben's rice. Yeah.
Spider-Man thing. The reason why how there hasn't been like a crossover promotion between those two brands is pretty silly, actually.
Uncle Ben, no. The rice boils over. All right, I think that's all the like speedrun news. That's probably good enough. I think we got what we're gonna do.
You can now play Game Boy carts on your Steam Deck.
Why didn't we put Marvel Rabbids? No, not Marvel. What's it called? Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I don't think we.
It wasn't on the new release list.
Well, I think it's because it's already out.
Then we would have said it last week.
Marvel, but I don't think we did.
Then who cares?
Well,
it's not on the list. We don't accept it. Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope release
date.
How do we even know if it's coming out?
October 20th. Fine, put it on the list. I don't care.
It's on there.
And nobody else cares either.
I do. I love Marvel. And why do I keep saying Marvel? Mario and Rabbids. I love Rabbids. That's what I want to say.
Marvel plus Rabbids.
Listen, I'm going to get out my balance board and my Rabbids TV tray game, whatever that is. Bringing Rabbids back.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think we're good. I'm going to start recording. Wah, 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 wah,
Well, we have
wah.
been streaming.
I know.
So
And it's been good.
everyone's getting a piece of the action. Everyone
It's
who's
been
listening.
good times.
Everyone who's listening early gets a piece of the action.
This is what it's like to live our lives.
That's right.
Aren't you, Jelly? Okay.
Right. Are we doing this thing or what?
I think.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Wait, where'd you go? There you are.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna start recording. La 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 la. It works.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, let's clap. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
Clapped.
Perfect, probably.
Close enough.
Okay. Hello, everybody, and good evening, and welcome to the Game by Show podcast. It is October the 24th, 2022, and I have a random friend from my childhood that moved away when I was in like 3rd grade. Jeff, if you're listening, happy birthday. It's his birthday today.
Jeff is definitely listening.
October
Friend of the show,
24th.
Jeff.
Yes,
Happy
thanks for
birthday,
listening.
friend of
Happy
the show.
birthday, Jeff. It's been a while, but hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for listening to the show. And welcome, everybody. My name is LeGrand Jolly. This evening, Jeremy Lamont. Hello, Jeremy.
Hey, guys. Hey, everybody.
And Dale Jones back.
Hello.
Wherever he
More
was.
powerful than ever.
I was gone. I was out of the country first, and then I had COVID second. So
How was your COVID experience?
So is this your final
Back.
form now?
yeah,
No,
over 9,000.
kind of want to get COVID so I can use my COVID sick time that work gives me. And if I don't use it, I lose it. So I might as well just get sick, right?
You already had it like what, 6 months ago, 9 months ago?
I had it in January.
Do they only give you benefits for your first COVID?
It doesn't matter. I get 2. If anyone in my family gets COVID, I can take time off.
It's like
take care of them.
jackpot.
And take
You
care
should
of
be.
them.
You'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
taking them out there to the public restrooms. Like,
Guys,
rubbing
come
their
on.
faces
Lick these doorknobs. Come on. Anyway.
Well, for me, it was.
But you know,
not too bad.
God of War Ragnarok is coming out, so now's your time. Like, it'll take him about a week to manifest.
Boss, I
something,
got COVID. And he's like, I got COVID too.
Boy.
Both playing God of War Ragnarok co-op together.
Well, if you know, you know.
If you know, you probably know. Well, what's new? Jeremy and I went to a really cool concert last night.
We sure did.
Do we want to mention it? Should
Yeah,
we?
let's do it. This time they came to me. I guess video game rock cover band, Bit Brigade, came to town here to Salt Lake City, and they rocked it, as you do when you're a rock band. So the way they work is they do covers of video game music, particularly like kind of hard rock versions of it.
NES games, particularly.
Old school games, and they actually have a guy. Noah, I remember Noah. Shout out to Noah for doing such a great job.
Yep.
Who speed runs the game? Basically shows me from my childhood all of the bad guys that came up that I could have just walked past.
Yeah.
That's Noah's particular skill. But they also I want to mention the opener, Man Made Men, who is
while he plays the game, Bit Brigade plays the soundtrack behind. So there's a
Yes, that's
there's
right.
a hacked
So they don't-
ROM that has no music.
That's right.
And they play the
I see.
soundtrack behind the game, which is
In
fascinating
time
and
with what he's
amazing.
doing on the screen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Pretty much. They don't do the sound effects. They do the game. But when
Of
he
course.
changes screens or goes to the bosses, then you hear like the boss music and stuff.
That's
And they
cool.
switch it right over. It's
The
really
crazy
cool.
thing about this, and being a musician, I can appreciate this, but it's funny because they play. If you can imagine how long it takes to speed run Castlevania and Mega Man 2, those are the two games that they did: Castlevania on the NES and Mega Man 2. And were there like 15 minutes for Castlevania and another 20 minutes for Mega Man, maybe?
20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
They don't stop playing. So
They
it's
play
not-
straight.
It's not
through
like
it.
they break. It's like the dude is speed running the game, and
And you get the
band
music
just
as he goes.
They
Like,
just
yep.
go and they don't stop. So they got done with Castlevania, and the guy gets up. What's his name? The main
Ryan.
dude. Ryan's like, "Oh, thanks guys for listening to our first song. That was Castlevania. It was like a 20-minute song or whatever."
We'll play
but-
another song for you if you
yeah, we're
want.
gonna play one more song if you'd like. And they played Mega Man 2 for us. Anyway, that was great. It was cool. I would recommend to anybody if they come to your town. Tickets were $20. That's with service fees. And by the way, Jeremy, I owe you $20 because Jeremy bought my ticket.
You know, that's all right.
What was the venue?
Oh, it's a small bar. It's a small
Urban
bar.
Lounge,
Yeah,
Salt
Urban
Lake City.
Lounge was the thing. It was the small venue. Probably would fit 100 people tight in there. They probably
Yeah.
had maybe 40 people there.
And we got a booth. You know, we didn't pay for it. We just got it. We just took.
Were
what
you
we
guys
wanted.
the oldest people there or the youngest people there?
No, I think the age level has compared. Well, I might have been the oldest person there. I don't know. There
There were
always that
some.
possibility.
Well, it was people in their 30s and 40s for sure.
Yeah.
It was NES fans and nerds like us and people wearing Mega Man hats, which was
They did
really
have some
weird.
Mega Man hats.
Like a dude had a crocheted Mega Man helmet that he was wearing.
I mean,
Okay,
if his mom made it for him, it's cool. Like that's all right.
yeah,
Or his
it was-
wife.
It was fine.
Or his wife.
But if he
So-
made it himself,
Yeah,
That's
that's
super
no good.
So go ahead
No,
and look
no
up.
crocheting skills.
Go ahead and look up Bit Brigade on YouTube and just check out what they do because it's pretty unique and seeing it in person was even cooler than you would expect. Like the
It's
music
really
is
good.
the music is fine. Like they do a very good job of covering the songs in rock.
so there's no
format.
vocals. Nobody's doing acapella.
Wouldn't that be great
or
though if
anything.
they like made some lyrics to the Mega Man song?
They get Brental
Yeah.
Floss out there doing the Mega Man,
Mhm.
whatever he's doing. Remember that guy?
Yeah,
or just
vaguely.
vocalizations, like
Oh,
yeah, exactly, yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, they
Simon
could. They
Belmont.
could totally do it.
Oh,
That's right.
Dracula.
Dig to the ditches
This is
and
a bird, yeah,
burn
I know.
the-
Well, everybody, we've got video games we've been playing, and
We do.
since Dale hasn't been around for a while, we should let him go first, I believe. What do you think?
Okay, well, this is fun because there's a new game that came out, and yes, it is a Warhammer 40,000 licensed game, but this is actually one that a lot of people have been looking forward to because it's a fun take on a side-scrolling action game, a la something like Contra, or maybe more like Gunstar Heroes, or I don't know what's a modern equivalent of a game like that.
I mean, I don't know about modern, but like Metal Slug and stuff like that.
Yeah, it does play kind of like Metal Slug, or kind of like not Castle Crashers, Alien Hominid or something. I don't know. Even those games are old by now. But so this game is a run and gun, 2D, cartoonish animation action style with lots of like very detailed backgrounds and stuff. And you are playing an orc, and it's a game called Shootas, Blood, and Teeth. Shootas are guns in orc speak. Blood is blood, and teeth are
Also,
are teeth. Teeth are currency. Orcs use teeth as currency. That's how they buy their gun upgrades and just toboggan hats and all sorts of like their steampunky goggles that they can buy and other stuff. They're the cosmetics in this game.
What is the value of the teeth though? Like, do they do something with them?
Well, it's like 300 teeth to buy like an upgraded shotgun.
But I mean, what are you gonna do
It's
with
that
all
kind
those
of thing.
teeth? Are you gonna just like?
Well, the more teeth you have, the more prestige you have, and the more other boys and gits will look up to you, and the bigger wall you can lead.
So if
It's-
some
it's
dude comes out, just
basically-
like, do you wear the teeth? Do you like put them all on? And
Yeah, you can put them
make
on
a
like,
poncho and just
string.
like.
You could wear them on like a necklace, or you could just like keep them in a cardboard box, which is how you find them around the level. And so yeah, this game is it's really playing on the whole like 40k orcs thing of being like, I mean, they're just there for a good time. They just want to go and have a scrap, you know, have a wah, and go and just yell daka 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 while they're shooting their guns that don't really work, but they only work because they imagine that they work, because orcs have this gestalt thing where like whatever they believe, it just sort of magically happens.
Really?
Yeah. So like the red ones go faster. So like literally, if they paint something red, it goes faster.
Huh.
Or orcs, if they paint something purple, it becomes invisible. So that's why you never see orcs wearing purple.
Interesting.
And other lore bits from 40k, which is, you know, it's all taken very seriously.
So
right?
like my purple Pac-Man shirt, I'd be like,
You wouldn't be able to see it.
ooh.
Yeah. It'd be like green screen. It'd be like if it mixed into a green screen, you know, the same color.
Is this game on Game Pass by chance?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. It might be. I just bought it because it's only $20 and it was like 20% off of $20. And I was like, all right, that I don't even have to think twice about this, because I knew that this game was coming out from about, I don't know, 9 months ago or whatever it was first announced and shown. And like, there's been a couple of previews trailers, I guess, that you could look at and go, yeah, that looks like a good time. And it is a pretty good time. It's an action packed, game where you're running mostly sort of left to right, but it also has the like jump up and jump down through platforms sort of gameplay, you know. And the way it plays, it's like it's on a 2D plane, but it's also a twin sticky sort of shooter. So you
So you
use the
aim
left
with
stick,
the right stick or whatever.
yeah, aim with the right stick, and then use the triggers. The left trigger is jump, the right trigger is shoot. And then you can also have a melee attack with the right bumper if you just want to whack something. But you get a bunch of different guns. Like you have like 5 different guns you can rotate through. Press one of the face buttons, and you'll go from like your pistol to like basically what's like an assault rifle to either a slot that'll either be like a shotgun or like a flamethrower, like a burst flamethrower sort of thing. And then there's another slot that's a rocket launcher, and so you can have like your typical rocket launcher, or you can have the one that shoots like a sticky grenade, and then like, you know, after a couple of seconds it blows up. And then there is another slot that's, I guess it's like a heavy weapon slot, and the couple that I found so far for that one are like a big flamethrower, and then the other one is it's like a buzz saw, like a giant circular saw that you can, like, you know, melee attack dudes with.
You know,
And
it seems like when it comes to weapons, you probably don't want to have one that like also faces you. You know, when you're like there's
well,
an
it's,
equal chance that it could.
circular saw, but it has like the guard.
Oh, it's got a guard on
on the side that faces you. You know,
Okay,
you know how
alright.
they work. You know.
Safety first.
Yeah, exactly. Orcs are all about safety.
Yeah.
That's yeah, you can choose like what type of orc you want to be. I don't know that it really has much of a functional effect in game, but it changes the way the sprite looks. So you can be either a what do they call them, like a flash git or a storm boy. Those are the guys that strap like giant rockets on their back so that they can do like a jump pack attack. You can also be a beast snagga, which is like the newest type of orc in 40k. They wear stuff that's like armor that's like made like Monster Hunter style stuff, where like they slay these monsters and then they make armor out of them. And there, what's the other one? I think you can be a weird boy, which is basically like a caster. And then you can also choose from your favorite orc clans. Like you can be the Death Skulls or the Goths or the Evil Suns or the Bad Moons, etc. And that just kind of changes the color of your orc. And then once you get in the game, you're basically you're just attacking this Hume world, and you know, because they put up the best fights, right? So the whole orc Wa force is invading this Hume world, and your character gets like bullied by one of the bigger orcs and gets his hair squig stolen. Orcs don't actually have hair. They wear these like little creatures that attach to their
Like toupees.
heads, like toupees. Yeah, they're called squigs, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. And there's some that they only exist to be hair. So you have this hair squig, and this other bigger, tougher orc like steals it from you and then kicks you out of the plane. And then so you have to basically go and take control of your own little force of orcs to begin with, and then lead your own, you know, Wa against the forces of the Imperium of this planet that you've landed on. And so it starts off where you're like fighting against other orcs to begin with, and then once you beat their boss, like they become your orcs now, and so you lead this assault on this area of the planet that's run by these like Imperial Guard soldiers. And so after a while, you fight through a bunch of them. You fight a couple of big tank battle bosses and stuff. Tank like bosses. There's one where you fight like a Lehman Russ tank, which is like a medium-sized tank, and then later you fight a Baneblade tank, which is like super heavy. And there's like a commissar hanging out the top, like yelling stuff at you. And your character yells back in Orcish. He's like, "What you gonna do, Yumi? Come get some."
Hey, that's good,
like that.
Dale.
And so then you fight through the Imperial Guard, and then you get to a section where it's like this industrial section, and then there's these like gene stealer cults. And these are like the guys that are like secretly being tainted by like the Tyranid gene stealer cults under the industrial, sections of the hive cities and stuff. You fight through a bunch of them, and then you end up fighting like all these like gene stealer patriarchs, these like giant like alien inspired monsters and stuff. And then after that, I think I'm getting to a section where there's going to be Space Marines next. So
Cool.
It's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun. It's also up to like 4-player couch co-op. So like, sharing the same screen sort of stuff, which you
That'd
can
be
also
pretty
do.
fun.
You can do that remotely over Steam, of course, as well. And it's just a good time. It's got a nice like sort of, butt rock sort of metal soundtrack, that just like keeps sort of like a high octane pace going through the game. And there's like fun weapons to get. It's fairly chill. Like, I mean, it's frenetic. It's a lot of action. And I've gotten to a bunch of bosses where I had to like try like several times because I kept dying. But it's not like frustrating exactly. It's not like super hard. It's just you die in a video game, you just start over, right? The one like little complaint I might level at it is that there's some of the weapons you don't get a great sense of like, am I connecting? Like, especially I noticed like the flamer weapons, they don't seem to always give you good feedback whether you're hurting the like giant mutated crocodile thing that you're fighting.
It's like they have some kind of insubstantial energy that exudes from them, and you can't tell if you're actually making contact.
Yeah. I mean, eventually the enemy will die, so like you'll know that you've killed it. But like, there could be a little bit better feedback, especially with the flame weapons. I noticed like the repeaters, like the machine gun style ones, they seem to work fine. The shotguns are pretty cool. You can upgrade from a double barrel to a quad barrel shotgun, which is good. I'd suggest that if you find that upgrade.
The super shotgun's always better.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's good fun, and it's it's entertaining. It's funny.
Is it a full price game or
$20?
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. It's and it's got a really good like high quality sort of like that sort of cartoonish art style like you see on like a game like Shank or something like that,
If you're watching the YouTube stream, I'm playing some video from the game right now.
Yeah. I'd say check it out. It's a good time.
That.
And like I think if you're an orc fan, you'll probably really like shoot.
I like the orcs. I like the orcs. That's my
Orcs are fun.
favorite. That's my favorite thing from Warhammer. Even regular fantasy Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. Orcs are the best.
Yeah. Orcs are good.
For sure.
Nice.
Cool, Jeremy. What have you been up to?
Well, I tried. So I've got a failure to launch here, and we don't have to talk about it much. But I joked a couple weeks ago that I would try playing Bass Fishing or Bass Master 2022 or something like that.
Okay.
And just under the auspice, just kind of because it's easy to say like, oh, that's going to be boring, and then you're like, oh, actually, it's kind of fun. Like they make fishing as a video game really kind of fun, and you enjoy it. And I could not. It just was not fun.
Oh, it wasn't fun after all?
No, like even no, it actually wasn't. Like, can you believe it? Like the mechanic is you face the direct, you got to boat out to where you're going. You got to follow some waypoints and stuff, or find the place in the lake, which I guess to some people they'll find that fun. But you go out to the lake, you get into fishing mode. Your guy walks out. The boat's kind of cool. I mean, it's like, it's like a cool boat. But you get out there and you kind of like aim where you're going to cast, and you have a power meter to cast, but you don't want to cast too much because then you're going to just like spaz out and, you overcast too much. And then you watch the what do you call the end on the hook? Like there's a
The
floater.
bobber?
Yeah, there's like a bobber and there's a bait kind of looking thing, a lure.
Lure?
And yeah, and then you drag it back, and you can like choose to like drag it back like a whole lot, or you can choose to like drag it back kind of in fits and starts so that maybe fishes see it. But I don't know if they see it. And I saw some of those fishes going like vertical because something about their pathfinding wasn't right, and it's underwater, so I don't know what they were hitting. But I did that a bunch, and then once you hook the fish, you've got to like snag it. There's like I've never had to do this in a fishing game before, but apparently if the fish goes one way, you got to pull it back the other way, but don't pull it back too much because then you're gonna lose the fish. So I'd
Right.
lose a bunch of fishes, and then I'd be back to like reeling the thing back in, and I'd do that a whole bunch, and I'd catch some fish, but I didn't really feel like I was doing a good job of fishing.
Were you playing
so
with the classic Dreamcast fishing controller?
I should have. That would have
fishing
made
rod
all
controller?
the difference. That would have made all the difference. I actually
Yeah.
was going to try. So there was, first of all, this was on Game Pass, and I think it's going to be leaving Game Pass, which was my other motivation. I'm like, here's my chance to play a fishing game. It's been at least 10 years. Now's the chance. I can give it another 10 years. I just did not. I don't know
You
what
weren't
it was.
into
But,
it,
like
huh?
all the stuff you have to get set up to go out and do it, and then you're just like following this lure as you wheel it back, and you're like, okay, come on, some fish. Come on, fish again, and then you don't, and then it comes all the way back, and you got to cast it out again. And maybe that's fun in real life. I know there are people who really enjoy fishing. Video game.
Yeah.
I was hoping for some power ups or something. Like, could we have like Mario fishing or something, where you can like double like
Right.
fireball it out there or something, and just like I don't know.
You could play ridiculous fishing. Remember that?
Maybe yeah, or ninja. Which one was the one that was the good one, and then there was the knockoff, the like semi like illegal.
I think
That might have
ridiculous
been
fishing was the good one.
okay. Yeah,
I don't know about.
I
I
wonder if
don't know what the other one was called.
Ninja fishing was the other one, something like that, and it ended up doing like it was like threes and then 2064 or whatever that one
Triple
was.
Town.
Yeah, something like that.
Threes. That was a different game.
Anyway, so I really tried. That is not what I'm going to talk. That's all there is to say about it. So I guess I'm going to bring a couple games today. What I played, and I'm really actually genuinely excited to talk about, is a little strategy game called Heroes Hour. And it doesn't look like much when you look at the screenshots, or when you look at the the box art or whatever passes for box art these days. But what it turns out that it is, and I wish Jared were here. Jared, you got to come back on the show soon. It's almost like the old Master of Magic games. It's like a fantasy, not really a 4X game. But they've kind of taken that model and they've stripped it down where it needed to be stripped down, and they've made stuff more interesting where they needed it to be. And let me explain what I mean by that. So Master of Magic, and there's also Age of Wonders is another series that is sort of long running. Basically, it's a fantasy game where you have a base of operations and you're a race like a dwarf or an elf or a draconian or whatever it is. It's not tied to any particular Tolkien-esque lore. It actually goes way far afield of that. And typically your main hero that represents you in kind of that overworld map fashion is a magic user, a caster of some kind. And you basically, in those 4X games, you would sort of add buildings that would give you different functions. Build a barracks. It lets you build elf rangers, build a lodge. It lets you, whatever. And so normally that was very Civilization-esque. Like most of these fantasy 4X games would really deal with like research trees, and they're great fun. Like they're one of my favorite ways to play 4X games. Elemental War of Magic was another one from Stardock. That was a really good one. Nobody liked that except me. But this game basically streamlines all of that. Your unit plays a little bit more like something from Advance Wars, where you've got a certain amount of just walking space that you've got, and you can go in 8 cardinal directions or whatever.
Right.
And you get units that are fairies or centaurs or straight up wolves or whatever, based on your race and your if you're like a fighty sort of faction or you're a magic-y sort of faction. They have just a ton of different permutations that you can be. And then your home base. Well, let me talk about the overworld. So you walk onto things, and there's typically a fight there. And the fighting, that's where they've really streamlined it. In those old games, it would typically go, because it was a strategy game, you would have to move like a strategy game. There was like a grid, and you'd move dudes, and you'd have movement, and you'd have attack power and whatever. This does away with all of that. The fighting is real time, and it's basically autonomous. And it more or less is just based on the units that you've got and various things that you've done to power them up. So if you're a
Right.
good summoner and you've summoned things, they summon with more power or whatever. So the game will give you an estimate of, are you going to beat these guys? Pretty much, standard fare for these things. But they're basically autonomous. You can give some commands like you can drag a unit and it'll sort of hint it, and it'll kind of nudge it to go a certain way, or you can kind of do strategy, but it doesn't mostly matter. You can also cast a lot of spells, and there are just a wild variety of spells that you can cast. You have typical things like summons or whatever. You have heals, you have, thunderbolts, and you have, poison clouds and things like that you can do that will greatly influence the battle. If you're just finding some just trash mob out on the overworld, spells are going to make the difference. You're definitely going to win based on that. And then there are all kinds of abilities, like back at your town, you can upgrade your base units, and it's basically every turn. So the game is organized into turns, and it's set out into weeks. So there are 5 days in a week in this game, and then every week the stuff that you can do sort of resets. So every day you can build something in your town, assuming that you've got the resources, and then every week you produce new units, and you've either got to go back and get them, or you make them into their own little army and march them around and go get them. All of the buildings, of course, do different things, and they're faction specific things, sort of like your endless games. Each of the factions kind of has different ways to do it, but they'll have generally the same kinds of things. Units will upgrade across the board. They just do different things. And that part is what's been streamlined. So all of the of the guns and butter, the butter has been greatly stripped down. Like, you don't have to worry about, how much space do you have? You have a predetermined number of slots, and you just decide once per day, do I have enough money to build something or upgrade something? And the in-game tutorial tells you should basically be focusing on building something every day while you're out there running your guys around killing things. After every battle, all of your dudes basically heal. The healing kind of factor is that you can reclaim some of your dead guys. The screen kind of just fills up with dudes. You're not fielding like one centaur and one wood elf or something. You build
It's
multiple
like 50,
units.
100.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a lot of them. And they all kind of like bounce around off each other. So as they kind of go on the battlefield autonomously, you can summon things into the middle of a group, and they kind of have mass where they'll sort of like kind of spread out and stuff. So they're kind of bouncing off each other, and there's dead bodies falling everywhere. And I've got some cool spells that like make bodies explode, and just like all kinds of things going on there. And the game itself, now this came out last June. The game itself, it feels at first like it's not finely balanced. Like, I started and restarted games very often because I would get myself into situations where all of the enemy opportunities around me were like nearly impossible or impossible rank or whatever, and I would just get stuck. That's the time when you want to go back and kind of build up your butter. That's what you want to go get more units weekly, build those things up. Every week the game gives little like this week, neutral battles will be interrupted by goblins or something like that. If you battling neutral, non-affiliated enemies and stuff, or it'll just all kinds of things. Your main hero might get bodyguards this week or something. So just kind of like little random elements come in, and all of these things, faction abilities, class styles for your heroes, units and how you upgrade them, and the buffs and things that you give them, the spells that you've got, makes it infinitely variable. And it kind of has a feel, it is not roguelike, but it is very easy to restart. In fact, I would find that if I didn't like the way the map worked out for me, or something wasn't going right and I was going to die anyway, I have found myself getting into impossible situations, or at least as best I could tell. I had a situation where taking my guys out onto the ocean, in fact, the battlefields are kind of cool because they're all randomly generated, but if you're on the ocean, like, ships are kind of passing and they might bounce off each other a little bit, and your autonomous guys can like cross over or not or whatever. And some of your guys are ranged, so you kind of want to have them hang back and shoot a bunch of arrows. You want to have your big dudes go out in front, so you can kind of organize some of that. But they just do a lot of clever little things with the battlegrounds, and there's even like weird stuff too. I should share this. I think I might have shared it out in the main Discord. I might have only shared it among our little private circle. But some of the buildings that you can go out and engage with, like, there was this weird big top circus tent, and what you could do there is every week it would reset so that you could fight a non-lethal fight against clowns. And if you won against these clowns, it would give you artifacts, because you can equip, magic rings and armor. There are armor sets. If you've got, the matching helmet of Thrum Dorbor or something, it'll then give you like lightning attacks if you get the whole set or whatever. So you also can send out your heroes, recruit new heroes, get them kitted out with different things, build up enemies. And in that way, it really feels it has the same satisfying sort of loop as something like Master of Magic or Age of Wonders, where you're like, this hero's my guy, this is my magic user, and this one is my barbarian guy, and I'm going to get him all kitted out with these kinds of things. And he always likes to fight alongside fire elementals, so I'm going to send him out with that, and just all kinds of things. And it's just been really fun to play. I didn't know what to expect at first, and I don't even remember what prompted me to play. Oh, I played this on Amazon Prime Games. So I just, for some reason, I was looking for something to play, and I loaded up that Amazon launcher. And it was something that I think it's even still this month. It might even be this month of October. Somebody have to go check that out.
Were you playing it on Luna?
I wish that they would just take that whole library over to Luna, but they do not. So I had to install the thing, but it's only like 200 megabytes.
Weird.
And I am thoroughly enjoying it. Like pound for pound, the size of this game, this footprint on your hard drive versus how much I'm enjoying it. And you can do like up to 7 or 8 different factions that you're playing against. It is single player. Now, it does support hot seat play. So if you have the Steam version, you can probably do that Steam play together online sort of thing. But it has just a ton of the features that some of those old 4X fantasy games had. But it just makes it faster, lighter, get into a game faster, give up and die faster, play again, roll the dice. I've just been playing random stuff and just really enjoying myself. And I just think it's a game that I've never heard anybody talk about it. The music is kind of cool. It's got kind of value added. There's vocals. Like if you play as dwarfs or something, you can hear like the dwarf choir, whoa, whoa, whoa. Or if you're playing as elves, they have like these female vocals kind of like lilting through the forests and stuff like that. It seems like it's a game that is really thoughtful, but takes some simple concepts that nobody's really been messing with too much and kind of tones it down in the right ways. It makes the things streamlined that you want. You don't have to get worried about, it's going to take me 7 turns to build, this barracks or whatever. Oh gosh, my economy has ruined. Now it's going to take me 20 turns to build the barracks. It's just build one thing a turn and march your guys around and kill stuff as best you can. Load up a bunch of like fantasy armies and just go at it. And I've really, really been enjoying it. In fact, I rather than getting ready, I was like, maybe I can play another 15 minutes. But we had a show to do, so I sacrificed that.
Nice.
But yeah, so I don't think it's on any free services other than, like I said, maybe Amazon Prime. If you've got that, go check it, because I don't know if it's this month, but it's like $12, I think, on Steam, and I would say totally worth it. So
Cool.
Heroes Hour. LeGrand, what you been playing this week?
I have been playing a mobile phone battery draining game called Marvel Snap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, straight up. This is the so there's a guy named Ben Brode. If you're familiar with Hearthstone and are into that game, you probably know who this dude was. He was
I thought it was going to be his superhero name. That's like definitely like
he was the game designer for Hearthstone, the original guy that led up the team that built Hearthstone. And when he left Blizzard to go do something else, he landed at a studio or made one. I have no idea, but his next project ended up being this Marvel card game called Marvel Snap. Now, This game's pretty cool, and it's very, very different from what you would expect from a TCG, like a Magic or a Hearthstone or a Elder Scrolls Legends, or any number of these games. In that, your characters themselves aren't necessarily dealing damage to each other. Like all of those games live on the idea of having a hero character, and you put monsters down in between you, and you fight, and there's taunt, and there's all these abilities and things like that, and then your end goal is to destroy the other player. And so this game is a little bit different in that there are multiple lanes of gameplay, and in this game they call them there's different areas. So there's 3 of them, and your goal is to have more power on those points on those 3 areas, on 2 of the 3 areas than your opponent. And so you play cards down on each turn to those different areas, and the cards have various effects, just like you would expect in a card game. And at the end of 6 turns, so basically everybody plays the game together. So it's turn 1, you have 1 energy, you have a deck of 12 cards. So your deck only has 12 cards in it.
That's so small,
isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
right?
that's more like a hand.
Yeah, so you have 12 cards. You start with 3 cards in your hand, and every turn you draw one, right? You start with 1 energy, 2 energy, 3 energy, and it goes up to 6. So there's 6 total rounds in this game. and both players are playing at the same time, and you basically drop your cards, and it'll tell you which character is going to actually flip their cards first. There's like his portrait is like shining and glowing. That means he's going to flip his card, and that is significant because there are cards that you can play on your turn that may affect the enemy's cards, right? So if he flips his cards first, then you have the ability to affect those cards on that turn. And that kind of rotates between.
So are there like trap cards and abilities and like what?
Yeah,
what
so
are
it's
you
all
actually...
it's all your standard fare. It's like, hey, this card gives buffs to these guys, and these guys has an effect that triggers when this happens, and these guys provide a shield so you can't destroy people, and this guy can be moved between different zones. And so there's these 3 locations, and they're all very appropriately Marvel themed. Like this is the
Danger Room.
Danger Room, exactly. And this is the Onslaught's Castle, and this is, whatever. And I don't know, because I like Marvel comics, but I'm not that into it. So they're just random areas that have names that I would expect would be in a Marvel comic book. And those areas will also have their own specific effects. Like in this room, like whatever heroes you put in here will have -2 power. Or whoever you put in here, like at the end of turn 3, whatever's in this room will be shifted to the side, and it will move rooms or move areas to the other room. It all sounds very confusing when I'm explaining, because this is very different from like your Hearthstone or whatever. But what it boils down to is a very, very quick game, first of all. Like rounds only last a couple minutes because there's only 6 rounds and everyone plays at the same time. And once those 6 rounds are done, it basically adds up whoever has the most power, and whoever has 2 of the 3 areas, most power in 2 of the 3 areas, they win the round. And that's basically it.
Nice.
So without going too much more detail into that, I kind of want to talk about the monetization options, because historically what's kind of been the bane of TCG games and Magic the Gathering and all of these games is whoever has more money to spend on cards basically has a big advantage over everyone else. In this game, the progression of unlocking cards is not tied to randomized, card packs, but it is tied to you just playing the game. And so your cards will start out, and your cards are all very Marvel, and they're all comic book. There's variants of the different cards. So you might have a comic book Iron Man, and then there's like a more realistic Iron Man. There's a pixelated Iron Man. But your progression is tied to something that's called your card level or something like that, or your deck level or whatever it's called. And so basically, as you play the game, your cards all start at a base level, and it's gray. It's a gray tier, like you would expect in gray, green, blue, purple, orange, like the whole classic progression on quality of these cards that Blizzard defined with World of Warcraft, basically. But as you play the game and as you play rounds, every time you play a round, you will gain what's called boosters. And these boosters apply to a specific card, and once you get a certain number of boosters, you can upgrade that card. But upgrading it, all that it does is it changes the quality from gray to green, uncommon, to rare, to epic, to legendary, to whatever the last one is. And what that does is it increases your level in your card deck. And by doing so, every time you do that, you can unlock a random card that you just add to your deck that you can use to build out. So what this means is that I've played, I don't know how many rounds in this game, and there has been exactly 0 reason for me to spend any money in the game yet, because there's not really a whole lot to buy. The only thing that you can buy with real money is variants on the cards. So say, I have this Iron Man card that I really like, and I really want this variant of the card, which could be, the 1960s Iron Man, and that's the card that this is, or whatever. And so it's all cosmetic. And by upgrading your cards to this next tier, you don't necessarily, they don't become more powerful. You just unlock the ability to get another.
Can you see the other guys? Can you see the other guys' cosmetic cards, or is it just for you?
No, it's for the enemy player will play his cards, and so if he drops, a card that's of a certain quality, you might know like, oh, this dude's been playing with his card for a while, because every time you get a boosters from playing rounds, they apply to the cards that are in your current deck of 12 cards, right? Yeah. So
the
is
reason
it,
I ask
so
is that if there's no like I was just kind of thinking, and I'm not complaining about a cosmetics only model, but I was just kind of thinking about card games and stuff, and like if there's not really like any prestige to it, it kind of feels like it would be sort of like flat. Like I'm like, well,
well, the prestige is
nothing
having
matters.
the variance. So like if you want to spend real
Right.
money and get the variance, like because everyone will unlock the basic Iron Man, or everyone will get the basic Hulk card, or the
Right.
basic whatever. And so if you pay real dollars for the variance, it doesn't give you any advantage. You just have that.
People just know you're a baller.
Oh yeah, for sure. And so, so what ends up happening in this game is, and the way that I see the progression leveling out is, what it forces you to do is kind of build a lot of different decks with a lot of different types of cards. And in TCG games, like you're building decks that focus on, a token deck or a buff deck or whatever you end up building your deck around, because every time you level up a card and you get those tiers to unlock more cards, it gets more. It costs more and more of those boosters to unlock them. Now you can't just buy boosters, and that's the trick. So I can't just spend money to just upgrade my account. I have to play games and earn the boosters through gameplay. But the first time you do it, it costs you 5 boosters, and then it costs you 10, and then 20, and then 40. And so the max you can get every time you play a game is like 6, right?
So they're just trying to kind of lock you into playing.
Yeah,
and they want you to play.
They want you to play the game, right? And eventually maybe you'll. And they have a battle pass system, so I think that's kind of their main monetization option. Right now, there's some Spider-Man cards that are only available if you buy the battle pass, and you get the Spider-Man cards as part of the battle pass as you level it up. But in my experience, like I haven't felt like I needed those cards. I think I might sling them $10 for the battle pass because I have been playing a lot of this game. It's the rounds are so quick that the time that you need to spend actually playing around, like you could almost do it if you're sitting in traffic because the games don't take a whole lot to deal with. If you're stopped at a really long stoplight, you can almost get a full round in. Like they're just very, very short and quick, which just makes it very attractive to people who don't have a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually really fun. I would recommend everyone kind of give it a shot. There's a really nice onboarding tutorial to kind of spin you up to kind of what the whole concept is, and it'll make a lot more sense what I'm explaining when you actually just play one single round. And I found that there are a lot of idiots playing the game right now that just don't understand card games because it is Marvel themed. So you have a lot of people who are like, oh, I like Spider-Man. I'll play this Marvel game that just came out.
I'm 7 years old and this man is beating me.
And so they're dropping, so they're playing cards that like don't make sense where they played them. Like this one's gonna buff, this is gonna do a certain thing if you play it in the middle
for the character that's not even there.
Well, Grant, that's because they're in traffic.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in traffic and they're having to go now.
Well, the thing is that if you only have like 12 cards in your deck, like it's less about it comes down to knowing like when and how to play your cards, but you kind of get a general strategy, especially with 12 cards. Like chances are you're gonna see 75% of those cards throughout your game, right? Because
I like that idea. I like not having a 60 card deck. I think that's why hasn't somebody not done that before?
Well, they have. It's a Marvel Snap, and it's been a lot of fun. I've spent a stupid amount of time. My phone was dead today because I was like just in between work calls or whatever. I'm like, oh, let's take a break and play a quick round, and it takes me like literally like 2 or 3 minutes to play one round of this game, and I have a good old time. And and then I get some boosters, and I unlock some cards, and
whether you win or lose, you get stuff just because you played.
Yeah, it's because you played the game, and eventually there is a currency in the game that you get by doing quests and playing the game and doing things like that, and that currency also goes to leveling up your cards. So I would imagine that eventually, and that also increases the further you get along in the game. So my suspicion is eventually it'll flatten out where I just don't have the currency available to level up everything that I want to, and at that point maybe I'll have to spend some money. But I've literally probably played 75 rounds of this game, and they're so quick that I played so many that and I've not gotten to that point where I feel like I'm kind of in a rut or that progression. Because with most mobile games, like the first few hours are like really easy, progression is quick, and it's like the honeymoon phase of free to play mobile games. And then you hit a wall where it's like, well, if I don't actually spend money in this, it's going to take forever to level up. And Diablo Immortal has this, Survivors IO had this, like all of these, every mobile game has this situation. And I've not hit that yet, but I have played a stupid amount of this game. So
Sounds cool.
yeah, it's good. It's fun. Marvel Snap is free. It's on iOS. It's on Android. It's also on Steam. And the
Does
client
it cross? Does it?
Well, here's what I did. So I made a mistake. When I downloaded it on my phone, there's a whole thing where you can log in with Apple, and it doesn't actually share your email address with the service. It just logs you in, creates a fake email address for you. And then when I downloaded the Steam version, I logged in with Google because that was the only option that was available to me. And then when I went to link my phone account to my Google account, because when I logged on Steam, it was like, yeah, like, sorry, start from the beginning. And I'm like, oh shit, like, I guess it's not pulling my email in or something. So then I went to go link my account on my phone to my Google account, and then it said, oh, this Google account's already being used. And I'm like, oh.
Oh.
So I have 2 accounts, and the one on my phone, but quite honestly, like, it's really good on the phone. Like, I don't know why I would play on. I mean, it's perfect. Aside from burning my battery up, like, I mean, if I pulled up my battery health on here, it'd probably say, hey, you've used 75% of your battery today by playing Marvel Snap, which
Defeating children.
just might be true. Yeah, and making people cry. But I have come across some people who have had some really interesting builds. I've got to the point where I've ranked up enough where I am starting to see those better opponents. But every once in a while, still I'll get that idiot that just doesn't know how to play a card and just...
That's me.
This looks like a good place to put it, and they're just kind of throwing things out randomly. And anyway.
I mean, let me ask you this. Is there any incentive to win? Or could I just, like, absentmindedly just, like, throw some cards at you and I still get some stuff?
Well, yeah. Every time you lose, you still get boosters every time you play a round. But as you level up and progress through like their ranking system, you unlock, vanity items and portraits and variants and things like that, or additional currencies and stuff like that. So, and of course, like nobody wants to lose, Jeremy. Like what? You don't play a game against somebody and want to lose, right?
Yeah, but if you're just like, I'm watching TV, just swipe, swipe, swipe.
You could probably watch TV and play this game and not even miss anything.
Or don't you just watch TV and be content just watching TV and don't
Or
try
no.
to play a game at the
I've
same
got
time?
that.
A laptop on my lap, a phone off to
You
the
have to have
side.
that second
Why
screen.
don't you just drive your car and not try to play games when you're stuck in traffic?
Listen, sometimes you need to play games while you're stuck in traffic, and
Agreed.
Marvel Snap might be perfect for that. And it's Ben Brode's fault.
Nice.
And that's it.
Cool.
Yep.
Dale, what do you think? What's...
Should I do this? I can do this. I can talk about new releases.
All right, swing right through.
We've got some of those, tech-gaming.com. We have a few things on the list here. Top on the list, Warhammer 40k Shooters Blood and Teeth, which Dale talked about. It's $20.
Fun game.
Pick it up. New Tales from the Borderlands. This is Jeremy's
Nice.
hype, but maybe buy.
I've seen reviews for it, and apparently it's still good. And it was one of my games of the Bytes games of the year that year, I believe.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I don't know. It seems like it was forever ago.
Decade ago, probably.
Yeah.
Persona 5 Royals out on Steam. It's also on Game Pass on the Xbox, PC, and Xbox if you're down with that.
Nice.
Previously to this, it was only on PlayStation platforms, so play PS4 only, and now it's on Xbox and PC and
Persona
Steam.
5 Royale.
Gotham Knights came
Good
out
cheese.
this year. This is the Arkham Knight, Arkham City style beat 'em up, but it's actually got 4-player co-op, and it's in like an open world. And supposedly it's pretty.
It's kind of like Destiny-esque, sort of, but in Gotham, I think is what.
Yeah, and the combat is like the beat 'em up style, like the Rocksteady made famous, but it was not made by Rocksteady, so
Yeah.
it's got that going for it. The reviews have not been super kind to it.
No, it's got some technical problems, like 30 frames per minute max, I think. And then I've heard that the missions they just kind of feel like you're doing a lot of crummy little tasks, and then you finally get to something that you want to do. And
Yeah, and I had that same problem with like Arkham City and Arkham Knight as well. Like open world, like it felt like they put stuff in there to do just to do, rather than And once the novelty of the fantastic combat wore off, it that stuff kind of drug
That's
it down.
the perennial open world game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's not a lot of exactly. If you engage with the open world content, you'll find that there's a lot of dumb content in open world games. Jiggity Jack. Samurai Jack. Just kidding. Jackbox Party Pack 9. is out on Steam. Also Mario. Jeremy insisted that we put on this game Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is the sequel to Mario Rabbids Extreme
Kingdom
Battle. What was it called?
Mario
Kingdom
Rabbids
Battle.
Mario plus
I
Rabbids
played through
Kingdom
most
Battle.
of that game. It's actually pretty good.
It is really good, and this actually looks even better. The reviews are looking really good. The clips I've seen look really good. This is hype. Maybe buy.
Ubisoft has done it again. You're not going to buy it, Jeremy. It's fine. We have a couple
Eventually.
new Destiny guns. Dire Vengeance is coming to Destiny near you. So check
Sounds
out.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
like a
pretty good.
shotgun? What is
Probably a shotgun. Yeah.
Dire Vengeance.
It's like a double single pistol shotguns like Reaper uses in Overwatch. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dire
But you can put them
Inventions.
together.
Oh yeah, you put them together and it turns into a double barrel super shotgun. It's really
Nice.
cool. Ducky Quacky.
Put that on there.
Yeah, this is it's a squirt gun.
2 6-shooters.
Squirt gun.
I don't know, man. Ducky Quacky's coming to
Ducky
a
and Quacky.
Nintendo Switch and the Destiny 2 gun near you. So
Oh gosh.
get at that. Yeah, that's all. About
Deals and freebies. I know that Vampire Survivors got some kind of update now. There's some new modes and things. So
they
they've
have a
been-
Vampire
Halloween.
Survivors
They have a free-to-play Halloween.
off.
Free-to-play Halloween event, and they just got a bunch of Halloween-themed content. Also, Overwatch 2 has their Halloween.
Isn't the
Halloween
whole
of
game
Terror.
Halloween content?
Yeah.
Vampire Survivors?
Yeah.
Now you get.
I don't know,
double
man. I'm
vampires.
just reading headlines. Bro. But lots of Halloween
right.
stuff going on this week. So
There's some free weekends going on too. I'll put those in the freebies in our Discord as well. We won't worry about that right now. But hey, a couple of things happened this past week. Konami is back, baby, and Silent Hill is a thing again. I don't know. People are looking pretty favorably on this. So there was a Silent Hill transmission showcase, and Konami just to remind you here. So Konami did the PT thing and then pulled it harder than anything.
Yeah.
Just destroyed it, demolished that thing, except for that PlayStation 5 knucklehead who got things working last week that we talked about. They've been doing pachinko. They've been looking at NFTs, like all kinds of things. People are saying Konami is dead. Well, they now are doing Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F in the chat for... No, it's supposed to be pretty good. And there's actually, I guess the thing is that it is going to take place in the 1960s. So I don't know if it's tied to because the story of Silent Hill is only loosely, the sequels are not really, they don't necessarily like follow.
Silent
story
Hill
or
1 and
whatever.
3 are direct sequels.
Yeah. But generally, it's not like it's not like Resident Evil where it's like the team and it's just this
Well,
big
the
armed dude.
city is the main character that kind of remains constant.
Right. And then there is also going to be Silent Hill Townfall, which is being made along with Annapurna, which is kind of interesting. And it will, I think this is the one where they're doing some sort of like live service game, I want to say. I don't know exactly what they're doing with it. And I honestly, honestly, I am not actually a Silent Hill fan. So this is mostly general interest for people out there who are into Silent Hill.
I am into Silent Hill. How about that?
All right.
Really?
Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite college games that I played in college. Silent Hill 1 I played in college, and then Silent Hill 2 came out, and there was a time when I had played Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 multiple times back in the day. Silent Hill 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's really, really good. The story is really, really cool, and that was where the introduction of Pyramid Head was. Silent Hill 1 and 3 are also very good, and they're tied together. They have the same characters, at least, in those games. But so I'm more interested personally in Silent Hill 2. Like, my fandom stops at Silent Hill 3 because the rest of the game, Silent Hill 4, The Room was okay, and after that game was just okay, my interest in the series waned, even though I really liked the movie that came out. But Silent Hill 2, like, when that remake comes out, I will play Silent Hill 2 remake for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm super stoked for that. I love the story of that game. And
Well, it looks pretty
yeah,
cool. I
looking
mean,
forward to it.
whereas Resident Evil is more like shooting things, Silent Hill is more like psychological and kind of slow and scary. This Silent Hill, Town. What did I say it was called? I don't
Townfall?
remember the name of Townfall. It's got like this whole mushroomy thing going on, and people's faces are falling off. Like it looks sufficiently scary. But anyway, Konami is at least making noises like they're going to come back to real video games. Whether that actually comes to pass or they cancel it
If
and
it's
then
not Metal Gear
destroy
Solid,
it.
it's not a real video game.
Yeah, that's what the saying goes.
Or
the old-
Castlevania.
the old wisdom.
I think they said they were coming out with a new movie as well, and some other
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a whole
Return
bunch
to
of
Silent Hill is the movie that's
Return
coming out.
to Silent
Yeah.
Hill. It's like Return to Witch Mountain.
The first Silent Hill movie was actually pretty good, and it did.
I liked it. I thought it was alright.
I think it did the game justice as well. So I think that's cool. So
Agreed.
I will watch this and decide as they come out. Like,
You'll preside.
Silent Hill 2, though, however, like I am hype and probably buy that game for sure. Hopefully it'll just be on Game Pass. I don't have to worry about it. How about that?
Nice. Well, speaking of Game Pass, Microsoft has made some complainy sort of noises this week saying that Activision, that they are kind of in the process of still buying, I guess regulatory-wise. We don't know if it's really going to happen or not, but they're serious about it. And they say that an existing standing relationship, business relationship, some kind of deal between Sony and Activision will prevent the Call of Duty, maybe the whole brand, I guess, from coming to Game Pass. The deal was made, it kind of made public in Microsoft's submission to the regulatory body in the UK market, and it's not really clear exactly what this is about or if there's a time associated with it. But that is one of the things about acquiring a company like that, is that you get along with that all of their their obligations, financial, legal, and otherwise. And so whereas Sony has made some noises recently, I think a couple 3 weeks ago, where they're like, oh yeah, well, we don't really like this because they're actually going to stop Call of Duty from coming to PlayStation. Well, here we sort of see that there's some ties that bind already. So I don't really know what to make of this, if it really means anything for players. I guess for the foreseeable future, it'll be business as usual for the Call of Duty franchise. I will continue not to play those games. But it is kind of interesting that in this big rush to acquire gigantic corporations, the speed bumps are sort of inherent to the companies themselves, which is kind of interesting.
I will quickly mention that the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 game, I picked that up, and the game's not out yet, but you can play the multiplayer's not out, but you can actually pre-play the single-player campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And it is very good so far. It is the most cinematic Call of Duty I've played. Like there's certain parts of it where it really felt like, oh, I'm watching a movie, And I know that's kind of cliche to say about video games in general, but they really do a really good high production value. They have some actors in there that you recognize that, like, oh, and then they do, and the mocap is very well done. They are paid more than the Bayonetta actors probably. But yeah, no, it seemed like Call of Duty is, if you're into military shooters and you're into PlayStation, like I have a cousin who only plays on PlayStation, and he only plays Call of Duty and Apex Legends and shooters like that, right? And so, of course, if Call of Duty were to move to Xbox, like, he'd probably be getting an Xbox. And so that's the type of stuff that Sony's obviously worried about, but it all makes sense.
Yeah. Well, since you invoked the name of Helena Taylor, the voice actress previously in the leading role of Bayonetta, we mentioned on last week's show that there was a kerfuffle a bit about the kind of pay scale, voice acting contracts, things like that. Helena Taylor had said that she was offered only $4,000 to reprise her role as Bayonetta. There had been some refutations of that coming out, including a report by Bloomberg that kind of indicated, well, actually that was the per session fee that she would have collected across 4 or 5 sessions, so that the fee was actually something closer to $20,000.
Okay, that sounds a little more reasonable.
And it turns out that she has kind of indicated that there may be some truth to that. It's I think there were a number of people who were involved that kind of made some not wanting to dive into it, but also kind of like looking askance at that report kinds of postures. And she has kind of indicated that that may be the case, and that she is looking merely to have a livable wage for the work that she does. And I guess in the meantime, Commander Shepard is now Bayonetta, so I guess that's your living wage, I suppose. So I suspect that that's probably going to be the last little bit that we hear about that, and we'll see how much we hear from.
Well, people continue to rumble about it on the internet, right? And and pontificate over what this all means, and who knows, man? Like I don't know.
Well, it is kind of interesting. I mean, lately there has been a push for things like unionization, for rights of workers, things like that. I mean, there was some news about that again this week, but not about this particular situation, but that in Discord servers, corporate leaders make sort of anti-union statements, and so out there on the internet and the broader community at large, there is sort of a I don't know, a zeitgeist of workers' rights versus how, crunch is another big one, not just like how much people are being paid,
Right.
but how much does their work overtake their personal life and those kinds of things. So this kind of becomes another star in the constellation of that, popular discourse about video games and how employees are handled. But guys, I think that is going to do it for our news this week. We are going to bust out through the news speed run. Start that music.
Bow, 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 bow.
I'm starting it.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Terraria, one of my favorite games of all time. There's been a lot of them we talked about today. It's the first indie game to get 1 million positive reviews on Steam.
It is also one of the primary overwhelmingly positive aggregate scores on Steam as well. It's a great
It is
game.
also one of the games that has sold the most, one of the top selling games of all time as well.
Fallout 4 getting a free 4K graphical update this year.
Nice, cool.
More like Fallout 4K.
Oh, good one.
Gotcha there. Steam has set a new record with 30 million concurrent users online at the same time. This is significantly higher than the numbers that they had reported previously. This was on Sunday, October 23rd, yesterday as of recording.
I was online at that time.
I don't think I was.
I'm always online.
I
If
missed out.
the PC's on, Steam is usually.
I
on.
kind of stopped. I don't stay logged into Steam much anymore.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah.
Discord has released casual party games as part of their Nitro service. And you know what, guys? This is what's pushed me over the edge. I'm finally going to pick up Discord Nitro so I can play some of these casual party games.
Fun little party games are actually kind of fun and party-ish.
Well, every single United States PlayStation 2 game manual now available scanned on archive.org after 22 years and $40,000 invested.
That's good. You know what? I felt the drama there. That's pretty great. Yeah,
Amazing.
I might go looking through some of those game manuals.
So I can get like my Fantavision game manual.
That's right.
Fantavision, I still
Ring
have
of
that game.
Namco
Red.
Arcade Volume 3.
Eternal Ring.
Nice. For some reason, Sony has started removing the dates that you can acquire their free PS Plus games from their store, which is kind of weird. I don't know. They
What
don't
does that
want to
mean?
remind you. I don't know. It's like where you have, for example, through the month of October until the first Tuesday of the following month, you can press get on the game and get it. And usually they'll tell you, hey, it's going to be this date or this many days remaining or whatever. And they've now started removing those, which people notice and is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if that's like a bad faith thing or what exactly is going on there, but it's a feature that they have taken out.
That's kind of weird. NASA has created a real-life XCOM squad. They picked them, they dressed them up, they named them, they gave them rocket launchers, and this is a real thing where they found 16 people who have been selected to deal with a potential alien threat that might threaten the world.
So they're gonna start out with some shotguns, a sidearm, and like a health kit, and that's
it.
where they're starting.
And they put the guy in Overwatch with a sniper rifle in the back.
Yeah, there you
If
go.
you're one of the first 16, good luck.
I've
played XCOM.
They've already modeled like a room. Yeah, what do they call the morning room or whatever, the Wall of Honor, the Honored Dead or whatever.
Bagpipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
One dude has
That's
a really
whiskey
smart
shot.
cardigan or whatever.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. Thank you to my co-host for coming all the way through. Thank you, listeners, for making it through to the end with us. If you have any thoughts or comments about any of the games that we've talked about, lots of great software this week. If you want to share with us what you've been playing, you can comment on social media. Let us know about that. You can find us on social media at Game Bytes Show collectively. You can also reach out to us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont.
My Twitter handle is at Legrand.
And I am at Count Elmdor.
Jared Redidun is at RED_I. Find us on youtube.com/GameByte Show. We need to set up our YouTube handle. YouTube is rolling out handles now. So
what does that even mean?
I don't know. I think it's like
it's your fake name that you're going to use on YouTube.
yeah, that's it. That's basically.
Don't they already have that?
Well, the thing is, I think if your channel, like we have, I don't know, and I don't even know how we got it, but we have one of those prestige, URLs.
Of course.
And I think now they're sort of rolling that out for. I mean, I had to do some stuff, but
What's the prestige about Game Bytes Show /YouTube.com or whatever?
Yeah, it's just awesome. You can find us there at
Yeah,
Game
it's
Bytes Show,
pretty good.
youtube.com/GameBytes Show. You can also find us at GameBytesShow.com, where you'll have the back catalog of all of our podcasts, an open invite link to our Discord server, which is where the real party is. It's going to be Tuesday through Sunday, all the rest of the week. That's what's going on. And, other than that, you can find us again here this next week at this same time and place, roughly. And we will come back to you with some video game news, video game impressions, lots of edifying talk, entertaining talk, informative talk here at the Game Bytes Show podcast. Until then, folks, I want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
See you
We'll see
later.
you. Bye-bye.
Ba, ba, ba.
My kids tell me I wave weird.
You kind of do.
Like a wavy tube, Ben.
I mean, this is what I do. Is that weird? No, actually,
No,
what I
it's
usually do,
fine.
like with kids and stuff, is I'll give them one of these. Hello. But my children made fun of me, so now I'm self-conscious about it. I'm gonna play more Heroes Hour.
I'm gonna play more Overwatch and Marvel Snap. I
I kind of want to play
had my
Overwatch. Is that-
phone charged in all the time. So.
Nice.
I kind of do. I resisted the urge to play Wild Rift today.
That's a good game, though.
League of
It's
Legends.
kind of good. Yeah, League of Legends.
That game is awesome.
Yeah.
Today I played. I'll tell you how much I played. Marvel Snap for 2 hours today,
Does it time it? Oh, is that?
based on my phone.
Oh! It tells you how long you had the app open.
2 hours.
Well, that's nice.
That's not
Hey,
too
so a week from today is Halloween. You guys have like kids and plans and stuff? Or what do you
Yeah.
wanna do
Yeah.
Next week.
Trick or treating is gonna happen.
Okay.
bad. Battery health. Let's see what happened. 44% of my battery was used today by Marvel Snap.
Wow.
I keep on wanting to say Pokemon Snap.
The interesting thing is that that 3-lane idea, well, because there have been games for a while that have kind of changed the. I actually, doesn't Elder Scrolls Legends doesn't it? Doesn't it have like little territories that you kind of?
There's 2 lanes in that game.
The
Oh, that's
Dota,
right.
the Dota card game that they did for a while, its whole thing was it was gonna have 3 lanes, right?
Artifact.
Just like Dota, right?
Oh, the international was this week, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if anybody cares. I just thought
Could
of
be.
it. All right. Well, if you guys
There
want
was
to
a
upload
dude
your
that did
files,
Big Heroes of the Storm tournament, an old Heroes of the Storm commentator.
like privately, he just
Yeah, I put on a big tournament and raised money and got like sponsors for it and stuff, and it was actually ended
Wow.
up being pretty big. I
That's
should have
kinda
brought it
cool.
up.
You should have brought it up. Now it's too late. You'll just, you should
It
do is
was
just bring it up in the Discord.
Caldor was the dude's name.
Is that his given name? Or is that
no.
his YouTube handle?
It's his handle.
X Cup Winter kicking off Heroes Esports in 2022. Let's see. First place 1,300 euros. Second place 1,000. Third place 700. Let's see what it says. X Cup series is what it's called. Oh, this was in January 2022, but there was just a new one that I heard about.
Interesting. Well, that's cool. I like when communities are able to, after a game is sort of put out to pasture, that people can still.
Yeah, that
do
speaking
cool
of
stuff.
put out the pasture, that Elder Scrolls Legends, their card game is not being supported anymore,
Oh, really?
or they're not working on it anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
October 16th is when the finals happen. The Heroes International is what it's called.
The Heroes International.
Dude, I might actually watch $11,000 worth of prize money. I didn't watch any of it.
There's
I
a
might look it
new
up, though.
Tim Rogers 6-hour video game review on YouTube.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
He reviews Boku no Natsuyasumi, the 2001
What
PlayStation game.
What is the verb boku?
Boku is it's just a name. It's what boys sometimes call themselves.
Oh, really?
Boku. Yeah. Boku.
Like in what context? Like what would it be in English?
Me or I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's
but
like
it's
I.
but it's a masculine it's more masculine, but it's more like plucky adolescent masculine sort of.
Right. I'm gonna start doing that. I think that fits me.
Boku.
6 days ago, they had $11,000 in prize money.
How about that?
Double elimination happened in person in Miami, Florida. Next Level Gaming was the sponsor. Huh. 8 teams participated. That's
I forgot
cool.
to mention that Heroes Hour has this like cute, stupid little pixel style. I mean, I guess a lot of games do these days.
I was streaming.
Oh yeah,
I was streaming
yeah. It
the
looks
video.
a lot like.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks a lot like Vampire Survivors. Or
It kind of does, yeah. Or
Yeah.
even less
simpler,
fidelity than
even
that.
simpler
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
The units are smaller, it looked like.
Yeah. And they're just all like dumb and bouncy. It's pretty cute. I'm gonna play that. You guys want to upload your files and I'll put them together and
Did I upload mine? I haven't yet. Upload.
Here you go.
D.
Wonderful.
Mine is also uploaded.
Oops.
Cool. All right, thank you,
I'm gonna
gentlemen.
stop the
Appreciate you.
stream officially.
Oh, is it still going on?
Oh, of course. That's how
All
we
right,
roll.
bye.
It's bonus
stream.
content for the weirdos that watch our YouTube stream.